recording. Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about variance for a second here. Variance, hold on. Where's my animate? Okay. Let's get black. All right, let's erase this. Variance, name of the game. What is variance? That was not a rhetorical question. How would you define variance in a data set?
How much it varies?
Perfect. Varies away from what?
The norm.
Close enough. I will give you credit from the mean, right?
Yeah, the mean. That's what I meant.
So, but I give you, okay, so your PTGI scores, right? So what's it go from 1 to 100, 1 to 10? I already forgot what it goes to.
I don't remember either.
Let's just pretend it goes to 1 through 100. So the first guy, he's like at 67, and the second guy's at 23, and the next one's at 90, and this one's 54, et cetera, right? You got a bunch of different data sets for this variable.
Right.
Let's just pretend the mean is 50.
Okay.
Right. So the variance is the distance between each one of these guys. This
And
guy
50.
between 50, this guy between 50, everybody between 50. That's the variance. And
So
you're trying to explain why. Why do some people are lower than the mean? Why are some people higher than the mean? You're trying to figure that out with other variables.
Okay.
So let's pretend this is your all the variance in your PTGI variable. This circle represents all the variance. Got it?
Yep.
So now we're going to switch over to your what's your RS, what's RES stand for again?
Race related events scale.
Race related event scale. So okay. So this is the variance of your race related event scale.
Okay.
So this is all the variance of this variable as well. But now you see this overlap.
Uh-huh.
This is your correlation between the two, this shared variance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it looks like if you just run these two variables, you're going to say, oh my God, this thing roughly, right? The correlation between the two is roughly what, 0.25 roughly. And you would think that this variable is in fact strongly correlated with that variable. But what's really going on is this. You bring in your support variable, and it's what's going on is something like this. This is your support variable variance. And you see what's going on is most of the support variable variance is overlapping this.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're seeing here is misleading because it's not really coming from your RRES, is coming from your support.
Mm-hmm.
That is moderation.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, it's the support variable that's really predicting the PTGI, not this one.
Mm-hmm.
Did that picture help?
Yes. And then my question becomes, when we ran the multiple regression with spirituality, social support, RES as the predictors, and PTG as the DV, the only one that was significant was spirituality, not social support. So that doesn't make sense to me.
Me neither.
You would think that
Let's
social support.
all right. Okay, so this is PTGI. This is all the variance. So we got social support, Now, if they didn't overlap, it would look something like this. And this would be RRES. And this would be spirituality.
Okay.
Right? In a perfect world, there's nothing there, right? There's no overlap.
Mm-hmm.
So in your model, when we ran all three together, this was not significant.
Right.
This was not significant,
Right.
but this was. So a
Right.
more realistic picture would probably look something like this. This is your PTGI, all the variance. So your spirituality would probably be big, right? Right? That makes it look significant. And then, but your RES would be small. Right? You see that amount of overlap is not very much.
Mm-hmm.
And then your support too would be small. And, but we already know that your support is overlapping your RRES. So this one would look probably something like this. And this would be your support. So when we ran the analysis, the regression, what it did was individually, it said, you know what, this is only about 2%, not significant. This one is about 5%, not significant. This one is about 30%, it is significant. That's what happened in the regression. That's what happened in the first regression. So trying to think what we should do about it though. All right, so we did R, ES, we did support. And we did spirituality. And these are all going to PTG. Not significant. Not significant when ran together, and then spirituality. So when we ran them together, only this one was significant.
Yeah.
That is freaking weird. Amy, what have you gotten yourself into?
I don't know.
All right, we'll figure it out. Don't overly worry about this. So.
And then how does it make sense when you take out support and spirituality? Do I actually have a correlation between race-related events and post-traumatic growth at all?
When you don't take into account any of the other variables, yes, you do.
So do I report that?
You report everything.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you're gonna confuse the shit out of your readers until you explain it. Right?
Uh-huh.
Here, let's switch back to SPSS here. All right. So we're going to go step by step. First thing, we're going to just do a strict, real baby, post-traumatic with race related.
Okay.
Boom. And so the correlation is 0.224. It is significant. Right? R squared, 0.05, right? That means that as is, let me try to show you here. As is, with this one, we get this. That means there's your PTGI again. And so what this says is 5%. So 5% is not very much. It's about that big. This is what's going on here, right?
It's not very much, but it's still significant.
Correct.
Okay.
That's exactly right. It's not very much, but 5%, 0.05%, man, yeah, that's considered a mid-sized correlation, believe it or not. Actually, that's not. That's actually considered very well. Okay, this isn't the correlation. This is the effect size.
So it's a small.
Yeah, it is small, but it is significant, right? That's what we go by. We go by that number. And that's less than 0.05.
Okay.
Okay. Burn this into your memory because I'm deleting it.
Oh, hold on. Let me take a picture of it.
Too late.
Ah.
Here, I'll draw another one. Hold on a second.
Well, it's recorded. It's recorded. You can send me the recording.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So by itself, it does predict a little bit of PTGI, right? That's what we see there. Now we're gonna put in, you know what? Let's do a hierarchical this time. And okay, so let's get rid of this. We're gonna do a regression, linear. All right, so we got the first one. Next, we're gonna add in support. Oh, not the right one. Support.
Yep.
And then the last one, we're gonna add in spirituality. All right, so this is called a hierarchical regression. So it'll give us a stacking order. So the first model should agree with the one we just did. Right, the first model, all that is one IV, our RES, and the DV. And it should match everything we just did, except for, yeah, you got an R squared of 0.05. Not very impressive, but it is significant, okay? The second row, we added support to that. So now you have a multiple regression with support and RES.
Yep.
And it says that the change was significant, right? Now this is where it's getting weirder as we speak. So when we added the third thing, spirituality, that too was significant.
Okay.
So this is the way we're doing it now. It says that all three of these suckers are significant predictors of PTGI. What the chuck? All right, this is pissing me off now, you stupid computer. All right, we'll figure this out. Actually, these are the ones I like, the ones that I can't immediately figure out. It makes me think deeper. All right, so, but again, it says all three are significant. Here we go. And okay, we really don't look at the ANOVA in this case, but we do look at the bottom. So this is our coefficients box. This gets real forensic. It tells us who's a significant predictor and who's not. Now, again, here's the first model with just RES, and it's significant, right? The sig value is 0.002.
Yep.
Now, when we throw in support, you'll notice that the sig value changed a little bit. It's 0.004, but it's still significant.
Right.
But then when we get down here to spirituality is significant, but it bumped the other two. So I would think spirituality would be the moderator. Okay. Give me a second while I put my brain on this stupid thing. I would think that spirituality would be, because that's the only one that's significant.
But you just said they're all significant.
Three. they were all significant. When we did them one at a time, they were all significant. See, that's the difference. When we do them one at a time, they're all significant. When we do them all together, only spirituality is significant. So I would think that spirituality is the guy. I would think that that was the overwriter, the the overlord, the master of what's really controlling. All right, give me a second. I'm going to do some background stuff. All right, race. Support, spirituality, growth, and show me. So now I'm looking for anything that's really, really too strongly correlated, because that could be what's going on here. We could be seeing multicollinearity or autocorrelation, but I'm not seeing it. The strongest one I see up there is between spirituality and race. Huh. You see that?
I see a lot of numbers.
So the top row of each one of these is the actual correlation.
Uh-huh.
So with race relations, it says that race relations correlated with PTGI is significant.
Okay.
It is not, race relations is not significant with support.
Okay.
And it is significant, very strongly significant with spirituality. Now, again, these
Okay.
are single individual correlations, one-on-one. There is no mixing going on here.
Right.
And then, okay, who else is significant here? Support, right? Support by itself is significant. Again, we found that out when we ran the hierarchical regression.
Mm-hmm.
And support and, okay, so spirituality is still significant. Spirituality is significant with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right, spirituality. I think you are the key. Why are you doing this? Oh, all right, so all right, I'm just gonna start doing shit until something makes sense here. Regression. Right, spirituality is the suspected moderator between PT and race relations. So let's run that again. Right, okay, so that's right. It is a significant overall, but there is no significant interaction. So that means spirituality is not influencing the relationship between RRES and PTGI, according to this. All right, I'm going to put it.
That's not
What?
I said. That's confusing.
Thank you. Welcome to my world. Okay, hold on. We're not done yet. Analyze, regression, linear. Oh, sorry. Analyze, get in there. Analyze, regression, process. So I'm kicking out race relations. I'm sticking in support. Again, if spirituality is affecting the relationship between support and growth.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So, yep, Okay, there it is. And so we go down here, interaction. Ooh, it is almost, but not quite. Right, 0.0543. So spirituality is not affecting, shit, maybe it's a mediator. Okay. All right, we're switching from moderation to mediation,
Okay.
which just confuse you. So no, actually, all right. Let me give you an example. So you got three variables. You've got murder rates. You've got daytime temperatures. And you got ice cream sales. Right? You got those three variables. You run a regression between murder rates and ice cream sales, it will be significant, believe it or not. When murder rates go up, ice cream sales go up. So what does that mean? When people murder somebody, they go out to 31 flavors, or vice versa? When they eat a lot of ice cream, they go murder somebody? No. That third variable, the temperature of the day, that is what's really controlling murder rates, because during the summer, murder rates go up, if you didn't know that. During the summer, ice cream sales go up. So it's the temperature of the day that's really controlling the relationship between murder rates and ice cream sales.
I get that. That makes sense.
So if you control for temperature of the day, the relationship between murder and ice cream falls to zero. There is no relationship between the two.
I get it.
So that's a mediator. So we're going to try now to see if someone wants, if it has to be spirituality. We're going to try something else. So regression, get in there. Now we're going to switch to the model 4 is the moderator or the mediator this time. Get out of there, you. And you go to mediator. All right. So let me make sure I got this right. Is spirituality actually controlling the relationship between support and growth? Okay, that is right. Okay, we got it all right. Here, give it a. You know, if my head explodes, it's your fault.
Oh, my head has already exploded.
Now, the good news is we only got to make it to the point where Dr. Thorpe will nod his head and say, oh, I got it. Okay, so we'll figure something out. Okay, here we go. So religiosity, or religious, what's the variable? Spirituality.
Spirituality.
Is spirituality a mediator between growth and support? So we go down here and we go to, it is, first of all, it is a significant predictor, and dang it, this is so hard to read. Oh yeah, we got to go to direct effect and the indirect effect. And it's 0.01. So again, the direct effect of support on growth is the same as it always is. It's almost significant. And then when you throw in the indirect effect of spirituality, it is, no, you cannot say that. So I'm looking for a p-value here. Shit, it is a p-value. Dang. It says here that spirituality is a significant predictor, which we know already, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we got to look at the indirect effects. So this would be from support to spirituality, and then a second one would be spirituality to growth. And this says that the effect is about 10%, and lower bound confidence interval, upper bound confidence interval, and there is no zero there, so it is significant. Okay. I think this is right. I think I got it. I think that spirituality is acting as a mediator between support and growth. So in other words, it's spirituality that's really affecting growth. Support is not, support is affecting spirituality, and it's spirituality that's affecting growth. And we're gonna do some crazy shit, and I'm gonna check it a second away. Okay.
Well, do we need to put the race related scale in there too? Because that other variable.
Wait, you just got a little bit choppy there. Didn't quite understand that. You're breaking up. You were breaking up.
Do we need to put the race related scale in there too? Because that was the other variable.
Yeah, let's try that too. That's a good idea. So remember, mediator, spirituality is a mediator between support and PTG. Now let's try it again. Come on, you. Okay, regression. So let's put in race related. Yeah, you could have a double mediator situation going on in there, which is way over my head. But let's give it a second. All right, here we go. So this time, this is the relationship between race related and growth, with spirituality acting as a mediator. And the overall model is significant. We knew that already. And ISS, it is almost significant by itself, but we got to look at the indirect effect. Sheesh. 0.09. Okay, so lower bound, upper bound. Dang it, I think this is also acting as a moderator, a mediator. Hold on. Dang it. All right. So I think spirituality might also be acting as a mediator for both of those variables. But here, this will take about 5 minutes. I'm gonna run a different way. But I gotta get my pen. Where's my pen? No, that's my peanut butter. Where's my pen? All right, once we get the handle on what's really going on here, then we'll try to figure out a way to explain it so everybody can understand it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to, first we're going to check for mediator. It's going to be spirituality. All right, so our first model, it looks like this. It looks like, let's do RRES is being mediated by spirituality on its effect on PTG. I have to draw myself pictures or I'll never remember how to do this. So what I'm going to do first is a little fake thing. Regression, where are you? Regression linear. So the first one I want, RRES. Where'd you go? I want RRES, you out. Race related is the IV. Oh, wait a minute. These are, hold on, reset. And I want race related is the IV. And spirituality is the DV. Spirituality.
Whoa.
All right. So I only want.
Now you're blowing my mind.
I only want two numbers from here, and here they are. I want these two numbers. Okay, so the B weight for RES is 0.018. The standard error is 0.002. I'm going to rerun it. Regression, linear. This time I'm going to use yeah, that's going to be my IV, and PTG, growth, is my DV. Yep, that's right. And now we're going to get these numbers. Where'd you go? There you go. Okay, so this one is 0.616. I'm going to say yes, it is, because these numbers are much higher. All right, now we're going to go to the interweb. And we're going to use it's called the Sobel calculator. And damn it, Sobel preacher. Oops, preacher. Oh, there it is. Come on, you. What's my deal? All right, hold it, having a senior moment. I can't find my damn Sobel test thing here. There it is. That's it right there. Come on, internet. This is us. Okay, let me save this one. Good. This is a free thing. I've been using it for about 20 years. It works out pretty good. So this for this one is race related, spirituality, growth. So we're going to type in those numbers I just got. So this is 0.018. This is 0.616. Standard error is 0.002. And standard error is 0.147. And then we cross our fingers. And it is. See these p-values? See the Sobel test here? So in other words, we just proved that spirituality is a mediator between race stuff and growth. So I'm going to write that down. The Sobel test is 3.7, actually 3.80. And p-value is less than 0.001. Perfect. Now we're going to try it again. This time we're going to do support. So the relationship between support and growth, and we're going to redo it. Please hold.
Okay.
Don't go nowhere. I know you're on the edge of your seat there, young lady. All right, so support and spirit. Now, what I'm kind of worried about is, since you proved it's a mediator, is he going to want you to write that up? Because it gets kind of hairy with mediators and moderators.
Oh, I don't know.
Again, we're going to try to figure something out that'll make him happy. And all right, so support and spirit. Support. Where's support? Support. Okay.
That one.
Support is predicting growth. No, is supporting spirituality. Where's spirituality? Right. So growth, no, support to spirituality. That's right. Good job. And what do we got here? We got 2196. Standard error 0.057. And now we do, all right, everybody out. Now we want spirituality to be the predictor. And growth to be the DV. Right. Yes. All right. So, oh yeah, we already know what that is. 0.617. And okay, 0.14. We already got those. Okay, good. Jump back. So this number gets changed to 0.196. And 0.057. The other two numbers should be 616 and 147. Okay. Ready? Yep. See again, the Sobel test says that you do have a mediator going on for both of these. So for this one, support. And that's why you're getting such weird results.
Okay.
All right, so we figured out why they're misbehaving. So in other words, it's spirituality that's the best predictor of PTG in a nutshell.
Okay.
It's acting as a mediator between both race-related and support in their relationship with growth. So in other words, it's spirituality. Both of the, so race-related is affecting spirituality as support is affecting spirituality, but it's really spirituality that is predicting growth in a nutshell.
Okay.
So let's go back to what Stephen said. So show me your
Okay.
quotes on Stephen this.
So, well, that, I don't know if that changes everything.
No. What you got there is still correct. It just does not take into effect that you discovered a mediator.
Okay.
So what does he say first? Where does he confuse? It's just the one where we did the criterion thing.
So, well, because the way that I explained it was when we broke down the sub test into criterion A and non-criterion A, they were significant. But when we had the whole scale plus social support plus spirituality, race-related events wasn't significant. And the reason we've just found out is because social support and spirituality are mediators.
No. Spirituality is a mediator. Spirituality is like a black hole. Anything that goes near it, it consumes. So the relationship between between your race-related and your growth, it looks like it's good, but it's not really good. The relationship between support and growth looks good, but it's not really good. What's really going on is the spirituality variable. Both of those two variables affect spirituality. Spirituality is the one that's predicting growth.
Then how is it that when we only look at like the subscales, criterion A and non-criterion A, they are significantly correlated with growth? How does that make any sense?
Because you're not including spirituality. You've left the black hole out of the equation.
Right, but so, but
Here, watch.
but
Here, watch.
still, like, I don't understand.
No, I don't blame you. You know, I feel your pain. These mediators and moderators, I hate them. They're the worst thing in statistics because they do not do a good job of explaining what the heck's going on. But with a mediator, you got a direct effect. So again, a direct effect would be the correlation between race-related and growth. That's a direct effect. But a mediator is an indirect effect. In other words, there's another variable that's hiding somewhere. That's the true relationship between the relationship that's really controlling the relationship between race and growth. And for you, it's this spirituality thing. So here, give me back control for a second, and then I'll show you. I hope. So we did this regression. There's that. And okay, we're going to do it this way. Let's stick in race related as a whole. And we already know, right? Let's just take a quick pick at it so we know again, right? It is significant. Right, it's significant. And we know the correlation is significant. We know the model is significant, and the R squared, we already know that. Okay. Now we're going to break them down. Analyze, regression, linear. So we're going to take this bad boy out, and then we're going to stick in race-related events and non-race-related events, right? Those look like the right ones. Click OK. And according to this, it is a significant regression, and this says neither one of them is a significant predictor. What did you say? I know it's just getting worse and worse. Man, oh man. What have you dragged me into? Let me make sure I did this right. Right? So criterion A, non-criterion A, this says that neither one of those is a significant predictor. What did you write?
Well, because we didn't do them together, we did them separately.
You did them like this.
We did them separately. And when we did them separately, they were both significant.
All right, the first one, R squared, that's pretty good there. Yeah, when you do them separately, they are significant. Let's go down here to the box. TTT. Yeah. Again, when you put them together, they're not significant, right? When you run both the non and the criterion A, non-criterion A, when you group them together, they are not significant predictors of growth. But when you do them one at a time, they are. Again, that means there's something else affecting this data. So that's what you ran into. You have lurking variables that are affecting everything in here. That are affecting growth. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing, growth. So let me just do one more quickie. So that was non-criterion. So let's do criterion. And it should show up significant too by itself. And ooh, big R squared there, and it is significant. You're right. So when you run them separately, they are significant predictors of the DV. But when you run them together, they are not. Indicating that there is something going on between the criterion and non-criterion. Let me see what that correlation looks like. And we'll leave let's leave growth in there because it don't hurt nothing. Get in there. So criterion. Criterion. Get in there. And then we do this. So here's the correlation between all three of those. All right, so growth with criterion 0.22, growth with non-criterion 0.209. Non-criterion, that's your problem right there. So the correlation between criterion A and non-criterion is 0.844. That's too high. That means that criterion A is 5 times more strongly correlated with non-criterion A than it is with the DV. That's what we call trouble. It has a couple of words for it. I think autocorrelation is probably the best description. So I think I can answer his question now. So show me. Now, when you talk to him, I want you to be completely honest. Just tell him that Rich discovered that spirituality was acting as a mediator between the race relations and the growth, and between support and growth. And then he looked at the correlation between criteria A and non-criteria A, and not A, and there was the correlation was 0.844, which is way too high, which means you should never put those two variables as predictors in the same model, because you're gonna violate autocorrelation, and you're gonna get all kinds of weird answers that are not believable. They're not valid.
So the way that we did it, 2 simple linear regressions, is still accurate. They're still both significant with post-traumatic growth, right?
Correct. But you know now that there's other things affecting growth.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to go into detail. So let's so what he says, both of these simple regressions were significant for him. Okay. So this is what here. We're going to fix this with one sentence. All right. So when they're together, when they're a single variable, wait, here, let me talk it out before you start typing. So RES is the combination of criterion and non-criterion?
Yeah.
So when they're a single variable, they are not okay. Again, I'm just going to talk this shit up. So when they're a single variable and you throw in spirituality basically is what's controlling the relationship between RES and growth.
Mm-hmm.
And but when so without spirituality, if you leave spirituality out of the situation, it is a significant predictor of PF growth.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And then when we run criterion and non-criterion, if we run them individually, they are both significant.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
But when we put them together, when we use them two separate ones in the same model, they're not significant. Okay, I got it. It makes sense to me. This is what's happening. It's that strong correlation between the two that when you put them in the same model, screws up the calculations. That's what autocorrelation does. And it'll either say it's significant when it's not, or not significant when it is. So what did we say? What did you say? This is surprising. So of the subscales, both of these were significant. So let's change this. All right, now start writing this stuff down. New paragraph, new paragraph. Okay, so let me see what you said here. When it's broken down the criterion A, both of these. All right, let's try. Here, scroll up just a little bit. So you can see the top of that paragraph. Show me the top. Okay, right there. Simple linear regression. Wait a minute. Quit screwing around. Where's
This one?
Result? Okay. Okay. No, scroll down to where Stephen Thorpe had his little comment. Is this possible? Right here. Stop. Okay. A simple linear regression indicated that the non-criterion A ratio was also significant. The race. Okay. So indicated that non-criterion A. Did you mention something about criterion A?
Yes, in this paragraph right above it.
Okay, start there. Show me the one above it. Okay. That the number of criterion A adverse racial events and a number of non-criterion A would be significantly and positively so indicated that good. Okay, got it. Scroll down to the next one. Okay, we're almost there, Amy. Almost there. Simply indicated that non-racial was also significant with this one. The beta weight was blah 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 blah. Interestingly, okay, change this. Ready? Yet when it was broken down into criterion A and non-criterion A subscales, and ran individually, both of these simple linear regressions were significant. Good. After significant, put the word but when both criterion A and non-criterion A were predictors in the same regression model, neither were significant. Comma, perhaps suggesting a no, okay. Okay, period. Upon further investigation, the correlation between criterion A and non-criterion A was 0.884. Comma, which was an indicator that these two variables were violating the assumption of I'm switching to multicollinearity because he'll know what that one is. Okay, let's explain what multicollinearity is. So, okay, this assumption assumes, assumption assumes, we can't put that in there. Okay, go back to multicollinearity and make that period a comma. Okay, so violating, okay. Which occurs when one IV is too strongly correlated with another IV instead of being correlated with the DV, comma, thus causing conflicting outputs like the one we are experiencing. Okay, but you can't put the word "we" in there. Like the one experienced with this data set. So read that again. Just read it from the top, make sure it makes sense.
Oh, okay. When it was broken down into criterion A and non-criterion A subscales and ran individually, both of these simple linear regressions were significant. But when both criterion A and non-criterion A were predictors in the same regression model, neither were significant. Upon further investigation, the correlation between criterion A and non-criterion A was 0.884.
Which is an indicator.
Which is an indicator that these two variables were violating the assumption of multicollinearity, which occurs when one IV is too strongly. Okay, I get that. I get that. That's a good explanation for why we ran them separately. What I'm struggling with is how to explain how the whole other mediation thing. And I don't know if we need to set up another meeting because I have a meeting at 2:30.
Yeah, I got other people coming in. Okay, what I want you to do is send this to Stephen. If he's okay with it, you're done, right? Boom. But mention to him that we found that spirituality is acting as a mediator between both race-related and growth and support and growth, and ask him what he wants to do about it.
Okay.
Because we could add another page. It would only take about a page because I already wrote up everything, or we already ran everything, so we know what's going to happen. Okay. But he might not want you to go into such depth about a mediator, because spirituality, you know, on a scale of where does that fit in your variable importance?
Not much.
Right. So what you could say in your chapter 4, your last chapter in, you know, exploratory data, you could say you were very curious, you know, about the way some of this stuff was reacting. So you did a mediator check and you did find that spirituality was acting as a mediator, blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't have to be in your main write-up. That would just be in your last chapter, and you would just say like, oh, by the way, you know, because the results were acting kind of quirky, you decided to do a moderator check. There was no moderation going on, but there was mediation, right? Okay. Spirituality is like the black hole. It is the most powerful predictor of growth there is with these other variables.
Can we So I'll send him this and ask, but I still feel like I need more help. So can we set up another meeting?
Yeah, like, what's your schedule like?
Next week is the same, like Thursday 10 to 1 or Friday 10 to 1.
How about let's do Thursday at, you want to do 11?
Yes.
All right, hold on a second. All right, 11 o'clock. And I'm gonna have a new Zoom for you.
Okay.
In fact, I'll send it to you today. I just made it this morning. So
Okay.
the old Zoom, the Zoom rooms end up tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day. I have to make a new set. So I made a new set. So I'll send you a new link. But again,
Okay.
send what we did to Steven.
Okay.
If he's okay with it, you're fine. And
Okay.
then tell him that you found that spirituality was a mediator and ask him what he wants you to do about it.
Okay. I will. And don't forget any of this stuff so that you can explain it to me again next week.
Too late, too late, too late, too late. Now again, moderators and mediators, they're way up on the food chain when it comes to statistics. They're very sophisticated, but they do tell you a lot, right?
Yeah.
They're telling you, that tells me right off the bat that if you want to predict growth, you should look at these guys' spirituality. Number one,
Right.
right? If they're
Right.
spiritual, they're going to grow. If they're not
Right.
spiritual, they're not going to grow.
Right.
The rest of this stuff is just like side dishes, right? They're not that important when it comes to growth. I hate to say it, but that's what the data suggests. Okay.
Got it.
But you did a hell of a job. You really did. I'm stunned.
All right, Richard. Well, thank you. And I'll see you again next week.
At 1 o'clock. And I'll send you, before I go today, I'll
Yeah,
send
freeze.
you the new link there. So keep up the excellent work, doctor.
I thought you said,
What?
Did you say 11?
I don't know. What did I say?
11 on Thursday?
Shit, I don't know. See, I told you I couldn't remember.
You said 11.
Yeah, 11 o'clock on Thursday. 11 o'clock on Thursday. Good thing I write this
Okay.
stuff down, right? So, all right,
Okay.
Amy, you make me
Thank you.
proud, even though you. So, all right.
Bye.
See you next week.
See ya.
Ciao. Oh, better stop that too. Okay.